Where have you ever heard anybody doing donuts which are baked, which are not fried, which are not overly sweet, and which are culturally inspired? So that comes from passion. My husband and I, we used to go to coffee shops door to door. I don't think this is struggle because I love what I do. The process of getting to where you want to get, it is important to highlight. And you realize you're actually creating a very niche category nobody has ever done. That's why I said, you know what? I want to create something which is baked and it's a little healthier. My donuts, I've actually shelf tested my donuts and recipe tested them. So they're like 64% less sugar than an average donut. Is there any advice you could give me? I always say just start. The hardest thing I feel that people don't do, unfortunately, we don't have the courage to take that first step. You will find your way.
Right.
Just start. You will find your path.
Hello everyone, welcome to the new season of the Halak Show. And there is a saying in my culture, or there's a deal in my culture, right? Every time you start something new, you should start with something sweet. You eat something sweet, or you offer it to others as well. Very good reason behind doing it, and very apt time where I'm bringing my today's guest. She's somebody who we came across, and amongst our wish list, she was on the top for this next season. And she has a very interesting journey of what has led her to be doing this, what she's going to be doing. I already given a little bit of a hint, something to do with sweets, but that's a very, very small portion of what she does. And in this process of trying to explore her journey, बहुत मस्ती होने वाली है, वो तो given है. Because her personality, I just met her, and it's already, we're having like that fun back and forth. So she is going to explain to us about her product. She's an entrepreneur. She's badass in her field. And it's my utmost pleasure in welcoming Priyanka Poddar. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We're so excited to have you.
Likewise.
Normally when this happens, I try to think of ways to introduce somebody. And then I get ways from somebody else. They tell me how to do it.
Yeah.
And then 90% of the time, it's just whatever comes directly from my heart. I just say it.
I love that.
And
that's
then
amazing.
It's more spontaneous, right?
I love that.
Yeah. So welcome to the show, and so happy and honored that you said yes and you were able to do this.
Yeah, for sure.
Again, my show is about learning. We talk about normal people's lives and how they are impacting their communities or what they are doing for the betterment. And the first thing when I saw you and when I spoke to you, it makes so much sense what you are doing right now. But let's start with first. So you are a Mumbaikar.
Correct.
You were born and brought up in Mumbai.
Right.
So would you like to just tap us into what was your childhood like? Because you studied for being an architect.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Yeah. So actually, you're right. I was born in Mumbai. I was raised in Mumbai for a large part of my life. And I moved here to the United States, to New York, to study. So I studied architecture, and growing up, I've been very, very associated with sweets and desserts because I come from a house, I'm a Marwadi. So
Okay.
I come from a house where we have always enjoyed feeding other people. And I think the reason why I feel like this is so personal to me and I feel like I was just put on this earth to do what I do now is because there is a feeling that you can make someone feel when you make them try and that is very important.
Right.
And I realized that growing up because we used to have a big family and desserts and food was always a part of celebration, part of culture, right?
Right.
And then I came here to study. So, of course, I am an immigrant, very proud to be where I come from. And just tapping into a completely different country, and coming from Mumbai and coming here, I did see a lot of difference, but also I saw a lot of similarity.
Right.
Because for me personally, Mumbai is a very fast-paced city.
Right.
So is New York. And there is a difference, but it's also so interconnected, it's also so woven.
Right.
And I think I fell in love with that. And the fact that cultures can be so easily woven into each other without having a disparity or without having a barrier, that was amazing to me when I discovered moving here.
Right. So architecture and then what you do right now, is this full time that you just focus on?
Yeah, it's
your-
full time. I'm 100% all in into the business. My business is called Knead Some Love New York, as
Right.
you know. And architecture, to be very honest with you, this is an extension of my education, right? So architecture, I got my master's in architecture from Pratt in Brooklyn. And I worked in corporate. I worked as an architect for many years before I actually, hit the brake and said, I really want to do this full time. Now, what caused that or what made me really do that? It wasn't overnight. And it's never easy to kind of quit your full-time job because you do get a steady paycheck, right?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, when you're running a business, what happens is there is no stability in income. You don't know what's going to happen, especially when it's an idea and it's not even a business, right? You don't know whether you can actually, it's going to work. And I think one of the things that we talk about architecture as a career, and then we talk about running a business, that what I'm doing right now in terms of sweets and desserts, there is a very big similarity between the two, because I feel like back in the day I was building buildings and now
Right.
I'm creating and building incredibly beautiful desserts.
Right. And how so? I mean, I saw through your page. I just started we have this project deflation, which I call it.
Okay.
It's just like for me to lose weight and just deflate and get in shape. And I just kickstarted my phase 2
Okay.
this Monday actually.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
So, and again, but I have a sweet tooth as well, and especially when something looks so appealing, you will go for it. But I will indulge on my cheat days, which might come once a month, once a year, who knows. But again, so I have a lot to unpack
Sure.
about Knead
Yeah.
Some Love New York.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I have some basic question about it, right? What is knead?
So knead, essentially the word knead, it's the science of actually kneading like dough. So you know how you knead the dough with your hand, you kind of fold the dough back and forth so that it creates like the dough for baking.
Right.
That's the scientific word for it.
Okay.
Now, if you ask me how my business Knead Some Love New York came about.
Yes.
Okay. So this is pandemic born. Okay. I'm very proud that I was able to start something in the misery when, of course, the whole world was falling apart, right?
Right.
And in the moment, during the pandemic, when I thought of this idea, this wasn't even a business. So I was thinking, okay, what am I going to name this? What should I have? I want to call this, I wanted to make a brand first. And then I realized that in that moment, everybody needed love. And
Right.
we all needed love because we all were going through so much in this global pandemic, right?
Right.
That's how Knead Some Love New York was born.
That's amazing. And why? So you live in Jersey.
Yeah.
Why Knead Some Love New York?
So that's my manifestation that one day I will actually have a storefront, a physical location with lines of people rolling up there in the city. When I started, of course, like New York was completely shut down. There was no scope or nothing to do in terms of like opening something. And again, like I am a very skeptical person. I prefer going small when I don't know whether something is going to work. So I didn't want to invest and, open up something right after the pandemic was done. And like, when we opened doors, I didn't want to be in a position where I'm pouring in an investment and money where I don't know if this is going to work. So I am somebody who's very particular in testing the market.
Right.
But New York comes from, it's my dream. You
Right.
know, I moved here to study in New York. I've lived in New York, in Brooklyn. And I think like just the fact that I can ever open a store there and just have a flagship there where people come from all over the world just to try our, Indian fusion donuts, that is my goal.
Okay. Talking a little bit onto your entrepreneur side, let's say Marwari background, Gujarati background, Vyapar to it's in blood sometimes. They say not everybody can do that, but it's you said this, starting small and then trying to scale it.
Yeah.
See if it works.
Yeah.
Is that your mindset? Does that help you? Your family has a lot of footprint into business. Does that where it comes from?
Yeah.
How to do this?
I would say so. I mean, I have come from a family background. No, everybody in my family has been into business, right? But nobody has ever been into desserts.
Right.
Growing up, my grandmother has, of course, she's done, catering and she used to take orders, but it's not to the scale and it's not a similar product.
Right.
But again, I don't think the business acumen really comes from family. I think it's more so a personality thing for me.
Right.
So I am somebody, like you said, I want to start small because I don't know where this would go because I haven't tested the market.
Right.
But when you have tested the market, and when I did, right, and when I realized that, okay, this is something where people are loving this and I really need to scale, actually that is when I quit my full-time job.
Okay.
So I was still working full-time 6 months into ideating this idea and creating a business. I was working full-time. So first 6 months of the year, I used to come back home from work. I used to work in the city as an architect. So I would come back home and I would kind of bake and I would, product test it. So kind of distribute this to friends and family. I used to live in an apartment at that point, so we used to distribute it up and down. My husband and I, we used to go to coffee shops door to door. Literally, I'm telling you, like when we talk about struggle, I don't think this is struggle because I love what I do.
Right.
So it's going to be unfair to say that this is struggle, but the process of getting to where you want to get, it is important to highlight.
Right.
So for example, during this is again like right out of the pandemic, right?
Right.
My husband and I, we would pack the donuts in the back of our car and we would go door to door in New Jersey, in New York, in Hoboken, in the biggest coffee shops you can think of.
Right.
And we would just leave the donuts there saying, please try this. Please let us know if there's any way we can have these donuts in your store.
Right.
And, you can kind of wholesale them and sell
Yeah.
them. And then a lot of people didn't revert back as we expected, right?
Right.
But the ones that did, actually, my donuts are still there.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel like that's the journey, right? Like the inception of how you create small steps to your point.
Right.
And then when you realize that, oh, there is really a market, there is a need, there is a demand.
Right.
And you realize you're actually creating a very niche category,
Right.
which nobody has ever done. I
Right.
mean, where have you ever heard anybody doing donuts which are baked, which are not fried, which are not overly sweet,
Right.
and which are culturally inspired, right?
Right.
So that comes from passion.
Correct.
And that to get there, that when you create that niche market, and that's when I realized that, okay, you know what? This is something, I'm onto something. Now, if I don't quit my job now, 6 months into this, and if I
Right.
don't take that risk, you have to risk. Like everything in life is a risk, right?
Right.
So I realized that if I don't take the risk and I quit my job now, I probably will never be able to do it.
Right.
And
right.
at that point, it will be too late. And
Correct.
I didn't want to regret. So I rather try and fail
Right.
than not try at all and be like, oh, you know what? Maybe this works. Maybe this doesn't work. And that's exactly what I did. Like a lot of people didn't support my decision because, we're
Right.
Desi, we're Indian, like we're engineers. I'm an architect.
Right.
My parents were like, what are you doing? No, you can't just quit. You can't just quit a full-time job.
Right.
And there is so much unknown in getting into a business where you don't know what the returns are. You don't know.
Right.
And then here I am. I'm like, no, you know what? I'm going to do this. And thank God, like I manifested it.
Right.
Thank God I listened to my heart. I did what I wanted to do. And here I am. I mean, it's almost 5 years. Thank God. Like, I think I'm really onto something. I'm building something super big.
Right.
I love the fact that, knock on wood, like, I love the fact that people genuinely appreciate, they know about our culture. They know that this is not normal. Like,
Right.
I can't tell you how many times people come to my markets and they look at these desserts and they're like, how do you have a mango lassi donut?
Right.
Is this even for real? Or how do you have a rasmalai rabdi donut?
Right.
What is rasmalai? So there is also a level of education that you're educating people who don't know what the flavors are, right?
Right.
So it's beautiful. The journey is beautiful. The mission is beautiful. And I think that just the more people are learning about it, the more people are loving it.
Right. So you said something very interesting about this rejection, and I was watching this one thing yesterday. It's one of my most favorite actors, Chris Hemsworth, right? He's doing this show called Limitless on Disney, right? Mm-hmm. So, like you said, rejections, you got a lot of rejections, they create like patterns in your brain. And what happens is like rejections are good for you because when you get frustrated, when you get pressured, once you feel like your back is against the wall, a lot of people a lot of times bring out the best in them. Like they will feel, now that I'm rejected, there's something here that they are not getting, that I am getting. And I'm understanding this thing that it's an art, right?
Yeah.
Skill, if you don't keep on applying it, you lose it at some point.
Absolutely.
So you have to keep on pushing and you have to protect your seed.
Yeah.
Whatever you have in your brain, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm happy here because you are at a level here where you are still on the path to succession. Where you've already been so successful, but for our audience, this is a pleasure for us to host someone like this, who is on path to having 10, 20 stores in city in 2 years.
No, I mean, God willing, honestly.
Make it a franchise.
No, I don't want to.
You don't want to?
No,
Okay.
I don't want to do a franchise. But again, like, I just want to add to your point. I think it's so important for people just to know that we often think that, failure is a setback.
Right.
And we don't land up going in for the next step. So I'll give you an example. Like, I'm pretty sure you've heard of Melanie Perkins, who's the founder of Canva.
Okay.
So she when she was pitching her idea of Canva, so for those who don't know, Canva essentially is a very popular technology company now. It's an app where you can actually create your own flyers and everything. And it's doing so well now in the tech world. But like back in the day when she had this idea and she pitched it to venture capitalists, right? She got 100 no's. I'm talking 100 no's.
Right.
And when we think about that as a human, on a human level, we get one rejection, you try again, you get a second rejection on your face, you get a third one, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to do this anymore, right? You give up.
Right.
As humans, we tend to give up.
Of course, yeah.
And I think the fact that she kept going, just imagine how she just didn't give up, she kept going. So the way I look at, when I apply this to my business and my life, right, I believe like it's like the Google map theory.
Right.
Where if you're driving somewhere and sometimes we miss a turn and it's like it reroutes you.
All the time.
Right?
Yep, I'm known for it.
Okay, me
Notorious
too.
for it.
There you go. Okay. So it reroutes you, right?
Right, it does.
Do you stop your car and be like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to go forward.
I'm never going to reach there. You don't say that.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so but we do get rerouted. We re-navigate and we go.
Right.
That's what I have applied to my business as well. Like in this small business, right, that I've created, there are so many setbacks.
Right.
Not your product is not for everyone. Not everyone is going to like it.
Right.
Not everyone's going to appreciate it and not everyone will consume it.
Right.
And that's okay.
Correct.
You don't have to please the world. You don't have to. But if you are true to your purpose and if you're doing this constantly and no matter what setback comes your way, if you say, I'm going to reroute this and re-navigate this and still move forward,
right,
I'm telling you, you'll be there. You'll reach.
Of course. I agree with that. You have to just keep on pushing, keep trying. Like I said, don't give up so easily because your brain will give you 1,000 reasons to not do something. You just need that one.
Exactly.
Latch onto it and just, keep pushing.
Exactly.
You also said your husband kind of supported you, right? And how important it is for, your loved one or your partner to back you in things.
Yeah.
I am in the same boat as you are. So what has that done to you? Because rejections, you would be going and it is speaking to somebody.
Yeah.
Is that your go-to person?
Yes, I do share with him a lot. Again, like, is he the person who I would go and talk to him about a rejection? Yes and no, right? It depends on what the situation is. It depends on what that topic is.
Right.
But I think, like, if we're talking about support, he was the first person, to be very honest with you, when I brought up this idea that I want to quit my job and I want to, dive into creating a new category of products and start a business. He was the first person who said, I think you should do it. And that support, right? Like just the fact that it stems from the fact that he believed in something that even probably I didn't believe in at that point.
Right.
It was very important because I probably feel like if that faith didn't come from him, and if let's say hypothetically, if he said, Priyanka, it might not be a great idea. I think you should still continue your job and, we can revisit this. It dips your morale completely.
Right.
But here I had a man who said, you know what, let's do it. And he used to help me. We used to pack boxes together. At that point, of course, there was nothing, right? Think about it. There was lockdown. The world was closed. We used to sit in our living room.
Right.
He used to help me, like we used to wear gloves and everything. He used to help me decorate donuts.
Right.
He used to help me. We used to put donuts in our car. We used to drive around all of New York, all of New Jersey, just dropping these off, like I said, to coffee shops. And that support cannot be measured,
Right.
That comes from a place where somebody wishes well for you.
Right.
And I'm very grateful. Like I've had his support. He's been phenomenally he's been amazing just in this journey of me building something.
Right.
Yeah. And of course, like we have our, tips. He will tell me, oh, I don't think you should do this. I think you should do that. But again, like that's normal. And that's part of being a family. That's part of having somebody who's with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Me too. Like I get a lot of rejections all the time from my wife. But sometimes I keep pushing. She gets annoyed and then she's like, yeah, go ahead. And then I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'll not do it if you don't want me to. But it'll be happy.
But you'll still do it.
I'll be happy. No, I have my ways. But I think that growing as a couple together, I think after a while, the same old tactics don't work. Yeah. I've been wanting that PS5 for so long. I'm waiting for my 99th rejection because on the 100th, like you said,
it'll come.
I might get. And I think it makes a lot of sense after I look into hindsight. So why she's saying no?
Yeah.
It's because firstly I have a PS4 already. I barely play it.
Okay, you don't need it.
I mean, yeah. So, but I mean the better graphics and I have my reasons.
Yeah.
But someday, when my kids will grow older, I try to stay a lot up to date with technology and what things are going on in the Gen Z world.
Yeah.
don't agree with it
Yeah.
necessarily, but I like to be aware.
Right.
They are the future. So
Right.
no matter how much you fight it, you'll have to adapt to their ways of. Even if I have to explain to my kids something, right? We have this Indian mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't agree with all the way how I was raised, but I do agree with some of those ideologies and they were put into me by my parents, even my wife's parents. We would want them to carry that forward in some way or the other.
Right.
But they don't get it because they are they always go after logic.
Right.
And sometimes I didn't question my mom about logic. The only logic response I would get was beating or something, because if you do something wrong, it was their way of trying to fix it.
I mean, you didn't know better. Let's put it that way, right? Like,
and
you didn't
that's
know
true.
better.
We were
And
naive.
today, I have a 15-month-old son as well, and
Right.
I understand, like, the generation gap is so vast, and I
Right.
think, like, we're in a place where everything is so accessible, right?
Right.
I think that automatically creates a completely different world.
Correct.
I think when we were being raised, when I was being raised, when you were being raised, right? We didn't have that accessibility.
Right.
We used to go to libraries and we used to read books and we
yeah.
used to do all of that. And now
Yeah.
we're in this world where our kids have everything on their fingertips, right? It's all about social media. It's the videos, it's the iPads, it's the phones. Like, what are we living in?
Correct.
So,
Correct.
yeah.
No. So then let's talk a little bit more about Knead Some Love New York, right? When you were planning on setting this bakery up,
Mm-hmm.
like, did you have any prior experience before you start? You love baking.
Yeah.
But talk to me about, like, did you have any knowledge about how to set up this business? It's a business that you set up now.
It's a great question.
Right.
And I love answering this. So, no. I am not a culinary expert. I didn't go to culinary school. And I didn't have any experience creating professionally sound desserts.
Okay.
But I had a purpose and I
Right.
had a mission.
Wow.
And I used to recipe test every single day. I just knew in my body, in every cell of my being, that nobody can do what I do.
Amazing.
And believe me, Halak, I feel it even today.
Right.
I don't think anybody in this world can do anything that I do, because what I create, it comes from a place where I was raised.
Right.
It comes from my home. It comes from my life experiences, right? And it comes
Right.
from my culture.
Right.
So let's say, for example, you're Indian, right?
Right.
And you feel like, okay, you know what? I maybe can replicate something similar. Let's say you try that.
Right.
I can guarantee you, because people have done that, I can guarantee you it's never going to be the same.
Right.
So I have no culinary experience. I started recipe testing in the pandemic. I failed a lot.
Right.
I failed a lot. Like, I used to create donuts where they wouldn't be okay. Some were too sweet. Some were weirdly shaped. Some were wonky. And of course, like, we're talking about donuts which are not deep fried.
Right.
I'm sure you know, like, to everybody who knows better, right? Donuts traditionally are deep fried.
Right.
I created a version which was baked because I personally loved donuts. My husband is a sweet tooth, and we grew up in a sweet tooth family. Like, we loved sweets.
Right.
But then again, having fried donuts, it's like you're getting oil, which is not doing anything for you.
Right.
But also, like, the donuts didn't have any flavor, especially the ones when I came here. And I'm not to shame anybody, but again, like, this is just my personal experience eating them,
Right.
right? It's very sugary.
Right.
It's too sweet. And there's no flavor.
You are not shaming anyone, actually. This is just spitting out facts. Right now.
No, I'm just
Just
saying,
got
because,
facts.
yeah, I mean, I appreciate that. But again, like, this is just coming from a place where this is my personal experience. And
Right.
that's why I said, you know what? I want to create something which is baked and it's a little healthier. My donuts, I've actually shelf tested my donuts and recipe tested them. So they're like 64% less sugar than an average donut.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it
That's
makes
amazing.
it, which is why a lot of people, when they bite into the donuts, right, they are surprised because of the texture, because they're completely baked.
Right.
And they're not overly sweet. So, like,
Right.
a person kind of wants to go back and finish that and take a second bite and a third bite. Whereas in an average dessert,
Right.
it doesn't happen.
Right.
So that's one. Coming back to recipe testing, yes, of course, like, no experience, trying to figure this out. Flavors came from my mind. Flavors are my brain. Like, it is something that I loved. Combinations, I love, like, rose pistachio. So rose and pistachio, that combination, I just love that combination personally. I threw it on. I tried it, it worked. Of course, there's so many flavors that I tried that didn't work. And I think that comes from somebody who doesn't have that background, right?
Right.
Because I'm an architect, like, I'm an engineer, and this is not my field. But
Right.
again, I did believe, to be very honest with you, that if you don't have to beg for a seat at the table,
Right.
you have to earn it.
Right.
And that's what I did. Like I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. I used to send this to my neighbors up and down in our apartment building. I used to distribute these. I used to ask for feedback.
Right.
My husband was my biggest guinea pig. Like literally,
yeah. I was going to ask you that, but you already answered.
He was my biggest guinea pig. So my house used to smell like this insane bakery coming from I don't know where, but it was nothing. It was a small apartment kitchen in Weehawken. And I used to create these donuts. I used to bake them. And he was my biggest guinea pig. He used to try them. He used to give me, these are too sweet. No, these don't taste right. This is too much saffron. This is too much, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And I realized that while I was perfecting my recipe, I got such good intel from people and especially my partner that eventually I reached a point. It took a while, I used to take baked donuts and throw them in the garbage just like that, without overthinking it because they were so bad.
Right.
But then I reached a point where I hit the nail on the head and I said, you know what? I got a hero.
Right.
And that day I said, you know what? If I don't do this now, it's not going to make any sense. And then I quit my job and the rest is history.
Right. No, that's amazing. So the reason behind me asking you this is that because a lot of times when people are like artistically very gifted or like very passionate about like some kind of a thing that they have not done before, things start falling into its place.
Yeah.
And for them, the important thing is to just again start and then just, keep on doing it over and over again.
Right.
And then there'll be a point where you will have that zone where you will feel, like now I'm ready.
Right.
To, not lose this, no matter what anyone says.
Right.
Now this is my child.
For sure. And I love the fact that you said this is my child because I always tell people, like I have a son now.
Right.
And this is my first child.
Right.
So, yeah, you're right. Like, you got to keep doing it. You got to keep doing it. But the key, to be very honest with you, the key takeaway from this process of not knowing professionally to be able to do something that you don't know professionally,
right,
the key would be do not give up.
Right.
You can't give up. Like, the thing is that you think there weren't times that I felt, you know what, this is not for me. Or you think there weren't times that I felt like I'm wasting my time.
Right.
There's also so much inventory you're putting into something that's not generating any income, right?
Right, correct.
So it's like you're putting so much time, so much effort. You're trying to create something. It's not working. People can give up very easily.
Right.
But I think I just kept going. And
Right.
that's one thing I always, whenever people ask me, I always just tell people, don't give up.
Right.
Just keep going. You will get there. Like the
Right.
Google Map theory, you will get there.
At some point you will
will.
find your groove and you
Correct.
will land.
Correct, exactly.
Nobody fails, truly. I mean,
Well, you said the right thing. Like creating, when you're on a mission or a path to create something, you can't fail. They're just setbacks.
right, exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So on that note, just for my audience, if you're questioning my choice of t-shirt today, right? You see it says Trek Threads. Stay tuned. You'll be seeing a lot more from this brand, Trek Threads. What it is, how it is. Go and search on Instagram, I'll make it easier for you. I'll just put it in my link. Check it out. We've been trying to push one up and coming entrepreneur to, go ahead and chase the dream and make it happen.
Okay.
So again, I don't know what he's waiting for, but it fits good. I like it, the t-shirt. I like the design. I'm not going to share what's on the back, but stay tuned. We will try to come up with more and more of these t-shirts from this brand. Okay. It's not paid promotion, by the way. I'm just giving a shout out. Trek Threads. Look out for it. I love when young entrepreneurs, I get to talk to them because they are so out of the box. Yeah. Like how you were saying about, like my biggest thing when me and Shivani were trying to get you on, my first question to her was she could have chosen any American base as a dessert base, like brownie or muffin or anything, right? Why did you go after the big dogs and donut?
This is $1 million question. Oh my God. I can't tell you how many people ask me this question. So the true answer to this is, honestly, I love donuts. Nobody was doing anything that represented my culture in donuts.
Okay.
And I really wanted to create something that people love. I mean, we live in a world, in this country especially, where everybody loves donuts.
Right.
Right? You love donuts.
I love.
It's a
can't have one, but
exactly.
I love donuts.
Well, we'll change that.
Until I eat
exactly.
Until I eat from.
We'll change that.
I'm 100% ordering that right after we are done with this call.
Well, we got you.
Yeah, you can order that.
So the thing is, we live in this country where everybody loves donuts, right? It's
Right.
an American staple.
Correct.
I took an American staple because I believed that this had potential to create a category in our culture.
Right.
Right? I took that staple, I completely transformed it, right? And I created a category where now we're told that we're called, like very famously, we're known as a Louis Vuitton of donuts.
Yeah.
And it's also because why I chose this, right? The reason why I chose this is because people love it.
Right.
And what better way to celebrate your culture? What better way to put it out there
Right.
that taking a staple that is loved by millions of Americans and
Right.
people and us, like we
Yes.
all love it, right?
I love donuts.
Exactly. I have never come across anybody, whether it's a young child, whether it's a little, middle-aged person. I've never come across anybody who says, I don't like a donut.
Yeah. Right.
Now you might ask me, why didn't you do cupcakes? Or why didn't you do like cake pops? Or why didn't you do muffins? Yeah.
Eclairs or anything.
That's been there, done that.
Right.
Right? Nobody, I've seen people kind of trying to experiment with cupcakes and cake pops and everything. Nobody ever had tried to do something with donuts. And then because I'm a donut lover, I came from a world where I loved desserts. And I said, why isn't anybody doing this? Why
Right.
isn't anybody creating, Indian fusion desserts?
Right.
And that is when I was like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. But then the second question was like, I don't want to create donuts which are deep fried.
Right. Because you also want to focus on health.
Exactly. Health,
And
yes.
well-being.
I mean, is it going to be fair for me to tell you that the donuts are healthy? Of course not.
But they're
right?
64% healthier.
They're healthier. You can say they're healthier. But again, like it puts your mind to rest when you know that these are handmade, they're not deep fried, there's no butter, oil, or yeast in any donut.
Right.
So that makes it a lot more desirable for the world we live in today, right?
Right,
Where
right,
health
right.
is such a big thing.
Correct. No,
Yeah.
and this is one of my friends. Her name is Bindia. She insisted me ask you the question, right?
Yeah.
You have built so many different flavors
Yeah.
of donuts.
Yeah.
What is that one flavor that you had like the biggest challenge or you had the biggest fail? And when you thought in your mind that flavor was going to hit, but it did not work.
Okay, great question. There have been a couple, to be very honest with you. But I think the most recent one that I have experimented with, it failed. And then I was able to bring it back.
Okay.
Okay, so it's my tiramisu kulfi.
Okay. I love tiramisu.
Okay, me too.
I love
So
tiramisu.
tiramisu is like, legendary. We all love it.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it. But then kulfi, for those who don't know, it's like a Indian ice cream, right?
Right.
So my goal was to create a marination with the tiramisu kulfi and then the tiramisu and the kulfi.
Right.
And the blend of both with my creation.
Okay.
So when I first tried it, it was a complete disaster because it
Okay.
was too sweet.
Right.
There was no espresso flavor, like there was no coffee flavor. And
Yeah.
tiramisu is very big on coffee
Coffee,
and
yes,
mascarpone
yes,
cheese
yes,
and
yes.
all of that.
Correct.
So none of that was coming through. And again, it didn't look very desirable to me.
Right.
I truly believe that we eat through our eyes. And that's why
Yeah.
all of my products, they're very visually pleasing. Like they're
Yeah.
very Instagrammable, like they call
Yeah.
it.
Like, if you can put the page here, let's see, it is very pleasing. I
Yeah.
told you that your static posts are like, you keep on scrolling
Yeah.
down and
Yeah.
they're amazing. So you think tiramisu was one of that?
It
and
was.
you-
It was a very
and
big
then you
challenge.
fixed it and you brought it back?
I bought it back, yeah. So I really experimented with the glaze. I tried to reduce the sugar. I tried to add like really better quality espresso. So I partnered with espresso company, like a roaster, local roaster. So I'd also like to support other businesses because it's very important, right? Creating a community is very important. So I found a really good roaster, a local roaster in New Jersey. We partnered. I'm using the beans and it turned out phenomenal after that. So actually the fun fact is, even though it failed, today, I released it in the summer. So today, as we're recording this, it's one of my second best, most popular flavors.
Oh, wow. Tiramisu?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
It's insane. Like the
Right.
gulab jamun has been an OG.
Okay.
The mango lassi was very, very popular.
Okay.
And then now this tiramisu kulfi has just taken off. And I was surprised because at one point I was like, this failed and this didn't work. And it was so overly sweet. And it just didn't fit my
Right.
idea of the donut that I create. And now here we are. Like it sells out every weekend. And it's one of my most popular flavors.
That's amazing. So tiramisu, I hope you got your answer. One more thing. How do you come up with this creative part? Like, how do you think? Like, do you just randomly think of two flavors and just get rolling with it?
I love that question. So a lot of my flavors actually come from my travel experiences.
Because some of them are very daring.
Which one?
I don't remember. Not the mango lassi, but you had something with the strawberry and
The lychee cardamom.
lychee cardamom and strawberry. Was it?
I never had a strawberry because strawberry was it's not Indian fusion,
I'll tell you.
Okay, let me
If
know.
I
Yeah.
will tell you. I'll tell you offline.
Okay,
But
no
some
problem.
of the ones I was not sure. I haven't tasted it yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
immediately my brain would be like, okay,
How
I'm
come?
not sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you have like so many likes on that post.
Okay.
Because people would have tasted it.
Okay.
So I'll tell you though once
Sure,
we are
sure,
done with
yeah.
this. But Yeah, you tell me.
No, so I think to be very honest with you, a lot of my flavor profiles come from my travel experiences.
Okay.
So I love traveling. I love traveling. I love traveling experiences, and I think they really shape a person's being, right? So because I've traveled to so many different countries, and I usually make it a point to travel to 2 or 3 countries in a year,
Okay.
just to get an understanding and kind of like, a basis of inspiration from there. So like I traveled to South Korea, for example, 2 years ago. I created like a green tea matcha flavor with a vanilla essence, and then we did like a kulfi flavor. It didn't
Wow.
work. I didn't release it. But again, those are inspiration. That's inspiration, right?
Right.
Now, when I'm traveling somewhere, I learn about someone's culture. I try and see how I can marinate that and replicate that in my culture. And the whole idea of my company is fusion. Like this is Knead Some Love New York. It's Indian fusion desserts. What is fusion? Fusion is a marriage between 2 cultures, right?
Yeah, amalgamation of like 2 things coming together
Exactly.
and then creating something.
Exactly. So
Something new.
what are we doing here? Like we take an American staple, which is a basic donut,
Right.
We transform that and we create it with our flavors from the Indian culture.
Right.
That marriage of the two is so beautiful because now you're taking 2 beautiful things from 2 different cultures and marinating that.
Right.
Now flavors, of course, come from my personal experiences in life, right? I grew up in Mumbai. I've seen this firsthand. My grandmother used to do a lot of cooking. She was very well known in Mumbai to do a lot of caterings and everything. Not desserts specifically, but it's just my childhood experiences, right? Like, for example, somebody making a masala chai at home,
Right.
Now, the masala chai, if you throw that into a donut, it can seem very basic.
Right.
But my masala chai is not that. It's special because I grew up drinking something completely different.
So your grandmother's taste.
Yeah, it's just our life experiences, like
Right.
family, where you grow up,
Right.
what you observe. I'm a very big observer, to be very honest with you. Like, I'm somebody who really observes.
Right.
I might not speak at that moment, but I like looking. I like observing, right?
Right.
And that really helps me. Like, I'll give you an example. I have a masala chai donut, a chai latte donut. What makes my chai latte donut different from something else is because we grew up having chai with saffron.
Right.
And that is what I replicated in the donut.
Right.
Now, if you take something else, like a masala chai muffin or another donut, and you take mine, you will see the difference.
Right.
And that's how flavors come to me. Like, they're just how I grew up, my life experiences, my travel experiences, what we like, right?
Correct.
And of course, some of them fail.
Right,
Like,
right.
it's never like I want to create 10 SKUs or 10 flavors and they're all going to be a super hit. Absolutely not.
Right.
They fail. But
Right.
I keep trying and perfecting them, you know.
Right. You keep on working on it and
100%. You have to keep working on it every single day.
right.
If you sit on it, it's gonna go.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that, do you get like, this is on a lighter note, like, do people come and advise you like, why don't you do this? Why don't you try this?
Yeah.
Why
Advice, but a lot of people ask me, why don't you do mini donuts?
mini donuts? Okay.
Mini, like the smaller
Okay.
ones, because
Yeah.
right now my donuts are baked, so they are a regular size. They're not as big as a fried donut. Like
Okay.
traditionally what you get outside, they're not fluffy, right? Because they're
Right.
not fried. So there's no yeast in them. But a lot of people come and ask me when I do weddings and I do like caterings and stuff, okay, so can you make mini donuts?
Right.
So in the beginning, when I started this business in 2022, at some point, I did actually experiment with mini donuts,
Okay.
and it was a big fail.
It didn't work.
No, I'll tell you why. Number one, why my product is very popular is, number one, we eat through our eyes, like I said. The aesthetics of actually having a beautiful donut that's my size right now, you can't replicate that in a mini donut.
Like a smaller
It's too small.
miniature version.
Exactly.
Right.
And also because these are not deep fried, it is practically impossible to create baked donuts which are that small,
Right.
which sit well.
Right.
Like it doesn't sustain well in terms of shape. It doesn't bake well. So I didn't have a very successful trial with that. So I completely let go of that. And I realized that the people weren't liking it because it doesn't look beautiful. It doesn't feel appealing. It's too small, you
Right.
know. You look at something like, when you look at my donuts, like the gulab jamun one or the mango lassi one, it looks beautiful because of the size as well.
Yeah.
So then I kind
Definitely.
of, completely eliminated that. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that. We're just going to stick with our basic ones. So yes, I get a lot of advice. I get a lot of people asking me, oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why did you decide to, bake them
Right,
and not fry
right.
them? So yeah, of course.
Yeah.
People always ask.
Right.
Yeah.
They are curious, right? Because they want to, they're now already intrigued.
Yeah.
They're just like, trying to, make their final call and,
No, but
also
it's
like,
great.
also trying to ask you. I mean, you never know. Sometimes great things can also come out from it, right?
Absolutely.
Who knows?
I love meeting people.
Right.
And when I go to markets and everything, like I do Smorgasburg. I'm at Smorgasburg pretty much through the summer.
Okay.
It's one of New York's biggest food festivals, and I'm a vendor there since the past 4 years. Fifth year now, this is actually. And I've been very successful there, knock on wood. Like I've been one of the only vendors who's been sold out every single weekend, every season.
Wow.
And it comes from a place where I've had to build this brand, right?
Right.
I've had to build people understanding the product. It is not easy to tell someone that, okay, my donuts are different than a normal donut. You really have to sell that.
Yeah.
And that comes from a place where you have to explain people and, like I said, educate people.
Right.
You know what I do because you come from my culture.
Right.
But let's say there's somebody who's just walking by who's not associated with Indian culture or like, South Asian culture at all. They are very intrigued. The first reaction I see when people walk by these, my donuts are, oh my God, like, what is this? I've had mango lassi somewhere. I know what mango lassi is. But is this a donut? Does this, because it doesn't look like a donut, right? Because
Right.
we are conditioned to think that donuts are fluffy,
Right.
big, fried, right?
Right.
So that conditioning, there's like, oh, this doesn't look like one.
Right.
But then you really, as a founder and as somebody who has built this with so much love, I really have to step in and be like, hey, these are not traditional donuts. These are baked. They're not fried. They're made with saffron and cardamom and all the really good things from my
Spices
culture.
and- yeah.
Yeah. And it's a whole level of education that we have to unravel
Right.
to have the customer understand that, okay, this is something really unique.
Right.
But believe it or not, people get it.
Right.
And people understand, and when they bite into it, it's a completely different ballgame. Like I have so much footage of people like eating them in front of me and having this moment of meltdown where they're like, what is this? Like,
Right.
oh my God, I didn't anticipate it to be so moist and so
Right.
soft. And yeah.
Once they start taking a first bite, then they will start realizing it what it is.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. Yeah. It's wonderful just as a founder to see people react.
right.
It gives me it. That's what I thrive on, to be
Correct.
honest. And that's why I'm always there in person. Like people always ask me, why don't you hire, people to go instead of you to the markets because you can do other things and you're the founder and blah, blah, blah. And I always tell them, no, I'm the face of this business. Like people don't invest and they don't get invested in products that are made in factories.
Right.
They invest in your story. They invest in you. They invest in your product. So you have to be there. And I have been there every single week.
Right.
And that's what I thrive on when people give me this reaction where they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm not
Right.
talking sporadic people. I'm talking like it's a consistency,
Right.
And I've seen that and it's very heartwarming. And that's when you feel like, oh, thank God I did this. Like I was
Yeah.
put on this earth to do this, you know?
You should have, you meant all those doubts and everything that people had on you or you had on yourself.
Yeah.
So the right word, and my next thing that I wanted to talk to you about was validation, right?
Sure.
Like you, believe it or not, everybody seeks validation for at some point when they are doing something because validation only motivates you to do better and better. So I'll tell you an interesting story, and then I want to talk about your media coverage that you had on one of the, I think on one of your feeds I was seeing that you had an article published in one of this thing, right? And when they must have approached you to give an article, right?
Right.
And that's kind of a validation. So I'll tell you one funny story, and I'm going to sound like a broken record because I'm so shocked when this happened to me. We have an X handle. I just created X handle like a month and a half ago. It's a very new handle. There are not that many followers yet, but one of the followers is John Cena,
Oh,
the
lovely.
WWE wrestler. We don't know how it happened. He does help promote a lot of people who are like new and trying to attempt something.
Okay.
I'm guessing, or if he made the mistake, that was the best mistake he ever made in his life. Follow me. and we were thinking about, but that like just uplifted me to the next level.
Right.
And
Right.
he didn't need to do that. I didn't need to do that. Of course, someday now I have an icebreaker to talk to him when I see him.
You should,
But
yeah.
think about it. Like in my mind, it gave me a new confidence. And then this is, the set was different.
Yeah.
And it changed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give all the credit to that particular incident,
Right.
but that played a big part
Right.
in thinking, like, all right, people are watching.
Right.
People are slowly and steadily,
Right.
getting, understanding what we are
Right.
trying to do here.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the validation.
Right.
What is to you? Like, what do you look for validation? Or do you look for validation?
No, I don't. To be very honest, I don't. Because I think one of the things that I've learned, hard lessons in life when I was starting this business and when I started it, is you just have to keep your head down, be humble, and do your job.
Okay.
So
That's amazing. Interesting.
and
I like that.
and I've always believed in that ever since I started this, and I realized that this is such a unknown space. It's such a different space to create. It's an unknown category I'm creating. I didn't look up, to be honest. I just kept working. So
Right.
I have, whatever has come my way, even you, any publication, any media coverage, I don't pat my back for it.
Right.
I have never done that. And I feel like you have humble hustle, right?
Right.
I truly believe in that. Like, I have really believed that you have to put your head down. You got to just focus on your mission. You got to be laser focused on your goal.
Right.
And whatever has to happen is going to come to you. Whatever, you put it out in the world. Like, we talk about manifestation so much, right?
Right.
I've always manifested doing this. I feel like, thank God, I am so grateful that I'm sitting in front of you and I'm able to talk about this and inspire people who always question, I have an idea, should I really do this?
Right.
Right? And I think if there's one key takeaway from anybody, for anybody who's listening to this, is just follow your gut. Your gut knows more than you know.
Right.
And I don't look for validation just because I don't look up.
Right.
I'm just working.
Right.
Right? Of course, I have my days off. I have my own fun and everything because we should as human beings. That's why we work, right?
Right.
But I'm very focused on what I want to build in my life.
Right.
Right? And with that, I don't care about external noise. I don't care about people. I don't care about noise.
Right.
Whether it's good noise, whether it's bad noise, because not everything is going to be for you, right?
Right. Right.
So-
People will say if they have to say.
I mean, believe it, like, or not. Like, I have so many people telling me, oh, why are they so premium? Or why are they so expensive?
Right.
And it has been one of the biggest challenges, I think, that I want to share that has been for me in this process is when I create a category, right? When you create a category, you have to justify it with a price point.
Right.
And I'm called the Louis Vuitton of donuts. Does Louis Vuitton cater to an everyday audience? No.
No.
Right?
They're a very niche audience.
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. So it's a niche audience.
Right.
My audience is a niche audience. Like I said, we are socially conditioned that donuts are cheap.
Right.
So the biggest struggle I've had to go through is really create a category where I have to justify that, no, this is not cheap. So what I did, took a cheap product that we are grown up since generations, Americans, Indians, we all think donuts are very cheap.
Right.
You know, Dunkin' Donuts sells it for $2.50.
Right.
Why am I paying a premium to you? Right? But then you have to justify that story. And there is a story. And there's a reason why.
Right.
But that creation is very difficult
Right.
to tap and create that category, which is where now I feel like I've arrived.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't look for that validation, to answer your question. I don't look for, appreciation, pat on the back.
Right.
It comes organically to me. I'm very grateful for it.
Right.
If it doesn't come, I manifest it will come.
Right.
But I don't pat my back and say, oh, wow, I did this. I'm big. No.
Right.
No.
No, so that's very interesting. And again, my point of validation was I use it as a booster. I don't use it for anything else but as a booster, because I also I'm like you, and I like your point where you're saying, just be yourself, like be original. I, as a host of a podcast show,
Yeah.
I am very different from anything else, because I'm just me.
Yeah.
I just do my thing.
Yeah.
And we don't keep our stuff supremely clean,
Right.
because the flaws that show your journey.
Absolutely.
Like, look at my first episode we have ever done, and it's my sister-in-law, Nirali Patel, and probably the bravest soul, because she was the guinea pig. She knew, and she didn't even think once before saying yes to me, and that I think of that as validation. But then when she said yes, and I was like, you know what? I have not even told you what it is about,
Yeah.
and you are on board,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
yeah.
going to face the camera, and I was like, if you think that much.
Anybody can do it.
No, not if you think of me being able to handle this, because podcast is a different thing, right? You are sitting having conversation, and we are not in just the audio medium anymore. We are like visual medium. We
Right.
try to express,
Right.
and there is a lot of positivity that comes out of it.
Right.
But there's also a little bit of a negativity that comes with it.
Right.
Absorb that, like you said, keep your head down, keep going.
Right.
look at the positives, keep going.
Right.
Don't worry about the negatives.
No, you're right.
So that was what I meant when I said validation, because it boosts you.
Yeah. I want to add to, actually, I get what you're saying. And if you're talking about like positive boost, right?
Right.
It's so true. It is true. Like I think of that as a motivation.
Motivation, yes.
Yeah, more than validation. Because I'll give you a very small example. It's happened in my life, in the course of my business, and it transformed my business plan. And nobody knows about this because it's a very personal thing, right?
Right.
So back in 2021, when I started the business, I was not shipping them nationwide.
Back in
Like in the pandemic, through the
I'm going to tell you. There's also a question from one of my friends.
Okay.
That do you ship now or no?
I ship nationwide.
Anywhere in the US.
Anywhere within the US.
Okay, perfect. All right, you're going to make a lot of people happy today.
Yeah.
Because
thank you.
whoever going to know, and you will know.
Yeah.
We will be sure to talk to you about it. But
for sure.
But yeah, so please go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just talking about, like, to add to your point about motivation, right? Because I think that is motivating for me.
Right.
So I was not shipping nationwide. I had just started the business, and I was doing like local pickups and coffee shops and just like, in and around the New York, New Jersey area.
Right.
So what happened is I have a very strong, like following on Instagram.
Right.
So one of my potential clients, she reached out to me and she said, it was during Thanksgiving, November.
Okay.
So she said, I'm actually reaching out because I'm hosting a Friendsgiving. So I would love to have your donuts. Now, she's in Florida and I'm in New Jersey. And I said, okay, I can ship them. I didn't tell her that. In my head, I'm like, how am I going to ship it to her?
Right.
I hadn't even thought of the idea of shipping them. Believe me, I didn't even know I could ship them.
Right.
Because I had just started the business.
Right.
And I landed up telling her eventually when she texted me on Instagram saying, hey, we don't ship these nationwide. I still have her message. She told me, could you please try shipping them to me? And that transformed my life. That motivated me to try.
Correct.
So you have no idea. In my apartment kitchen, I went to Staples. Of course, I didn't have a wholesaler or anything at that time, right?
Right.
So I got these shipping boxes. I got foam. I got, just papers and everything to kind of secure the donuts. And I figured out a way of shipping them.
Right.
And I took them to FedEx at that point, and I prayed to God that they reach her in one piece.
Right.
And I kept tracking it. I shipped it. I told her everything went through. I kept tracking it. It reached her. I told her, please open it and let me know if it's okay. Like, I was thinking maybe it broke or something because I had never done this before.
Right.
And she got it. She set it up. Her friends loved it. She loved it. And she posted it all over her social media.
Awesome.
And that moment gave me the confidence and like what you talk about, like validation, you call it, motivation, you call it. It gave me the confidence that I can ship this nationwide.
Right.
That moment opened all the doors for me.
Wow.
So just imagine if she hadn't sent me that one message saying, can you
push
please
you.
try? She just pushed me.
Yeah.
She just pushed me saying, can you
Yeah.
please try? I still have that message.
Right.
And that one moment, I've shipped to 49 states today.
That's amazing.
Yeah, just imagine.
So now all we need is someone from London to push you so it goes international.
So it goes into the UK,
and then
yeah.
Hawaii first before we go to Russia or China.
Can you
start
imagine that?
Expanding your horizons.
It'll happen.
India mein to log baithe hi hai. So you then just waiting for you to spread your wings and go places.
It will happen.
But you figured it out. That's more important. That when somebody had so much faith, they were like, no, I need this.
She loved the product because I had just started posting it on social media and everything. So I didn't really have much presence. But she said, I would love to try this for my Friendsgiving. And the fact that if she hadn't messaged me again saying, can you please try?
Right.
I would have definitely been like, I don't ship them. Maybe today I would never be shipping them.
Yes.
But her pursuance and the fact that she pushed me to do it.
Correct.
It allowed me to do it. And now I ship them left, right, center. I do 25, 30 shipments a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can, bump that up. And so do you still have like a place now where you do this thing? Do you have I
have a shared
bakery?
space. No. So I don't have a storefront or anything. I have a shared space, like a commercial shared space kitchen where I produce them.
Okay.
And then I ship them nationwide.
Okay.
So now because, I have a footprint where I can reach all of the US without having or limiting it to a store.
Okay.
My vision kind of pivoted through the years of running this. So back in the day, I always wanted a storefront where, I have this big flagship storefront in New York and everything. But over the years, it pivoted because I realized that I can ship them now.
Right.
So do I really need to have overheads? Do I really need to have a storefront?
Right.
It would be great at some point, when I can do that. But is that a necessity today? Probably not.
Right.
Because I already have a global, like a national footprint.
Right.
So they're reaching people's homes. You're sitting in Texas and you're receiving a package from here, baked fresh donuts, which are Desi fusion and Indian fusion.
Right.
Nothing better, right? Like it's almost like we're putting our culture onto your dinner table.
Right.
And it's beautiful.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, I'll still, I don't know how best to tell you or sell you this. And I'm being selfish here. When I saw Grand Canyon, I'd seen the picture and I saw it live. It looked like a canvas, but it was breathtaking. When I saw it from a vantage point, okay? I've seen your donuts. Think about it. When I can see it physically, you making it, or there's a glass and you have your whole team making it and seeing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
someday. I haven't got
Never
enough.
say never.
Never say never, which is
Who
why
knows?
I've never changed my business name.
My 20 store theory or my seeing a physical store might come true. So
No,
you
for
never
sure.
know.
For sure. See, you asked me in the beginning, why did I name it Knead Some Love New York, right?
Right.
That was at that point in the pandemic, my goal was to create the storefront back then and
In New York.
In New York City,
Yes.
yeah. That's why I've never changed the name.
Right. No,
It's
it's
very
a
easy.
amazing name.
Yeah, it's very easy
And
to
Need Some
remove
Love.
New York and be like, oh,
Yeah.
just we need some love. But no, that's my inception, right? That's how I started.
And I like
this.
how you played with the word need and needs. It's just great concept. I love that.
Believe me, this all came because I genuinely believed in the pandemic we all needed the love. And then of course you want a pun, right? It's a very
Right.
fun brand. It's
Perfect,
colorful.
perfect, yeah.
It's like cultural. So yeah.
Right. I have a rapid fire that I had planned
Oh boy.
for my guests. It's nothing. If anybody's going to mess up right now in the rapid fire, it's going to be me. Like I said, in asking the questions, and
Okay.
it's taking too long for it to complete. But this is a donut rapid fire
Okay.
with Priyanka,
Okay.
and just answer whatever
Ready,
feels right.
ready,
It's
okay.
they're a very straight up answer, right? So we're going to start now.
Okay.
All right, sweet or savory donuts?
Sweet.
Favorite Indian spice to bake with?
Saffron.
Dream donut flavor you haven't made yet?
I actually made it, but it didn't turn out right. So it's on my list. The pan.
Oh, I love pan.
Yeah.
All right. For the folks who have not yet tasted, it's a very, very nice minty kind of a thing.
Correct. It's a beetle leaf and
Yeah.
it's phenomenal. It's
Yeah.
like a mouth. It's an after dinner lunch thing,
Yeah.
and it's phenomenal. It's very cultural.
Very
So,
cultural. Yeah, correct. Gulab jambu or jalebi inspired donut?
Gulab jamun.
Best song to bake to?
Dilwale
Amazing. I'm not going to tell you mine on camera because it's kind of embarrassing, but I'll tell you my fun song. But early morning or late night baking?
Early morning.
Coffee or chai with donuts?
Chai.
Most underrated Indian dessert?
The rasmalai.
Most underrated. Okay, I was going to say Knead Some Love New York donuts, but all right,
Oh,
right now.
okay.
But sprinkle or glaze?
Glaze.
One word to describe your bakery.
I have so many. I had so many.
That's fine. We can come back to it.
Okay.
So this actually could have been like a question, not a rapid fire question.
Yeah.
Okay, let me think. Quickly on my toes. Let me switch. What's your favorite flavor of donut that you make?
My best seller is the gulab jamun.
Not the best seller. Your favorite.
Gulab jamun.
Okay. All right. Awesome. That's time. And I think we did good.
Yeah.
I think I did good. I'm getting better at this. There's only one or two questions where I kind of had to ask. Remember, I was telling you I had to fight my urge.
Yeah.
And so if anybody can mess up, it's me. So I think this is great. So a couple of things. One word to describe your bakery was I think we had put it in there because we were trying to find shorten even needs
Yeah.
for Love New
Yeah.
York to be
Yeah.
like one that reflects your personality.
Yeah.
So I was going to say you were going to say passion because I was
Yeah.
going to say I thought you were going to say passion.
So there's a couple of words. Like I would say it's more of a sentence. Like it's passion with purpose.
Right.
Right. And of course, like the passion is to create something that nobody has ever done.
Right.
And the purpose is to really bring out our culture to the world.
Right.
So it's a mix of the two.
Okay. I'll tell you another backstory behind why this is here, and I'm trying to relate this to why. Right. There's a show called The Office. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. Right.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a big fan, huge fan, humongous fan like no other. So in that there is an episode where there is this character Kevin.
Okay.
He starts speaking like a baby, where he uses words,
Okay.
one words to. He tries to shorten the sentences, and in
Okay.
doing so, like Gen Zs, they use a lot of abbreviations and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So he tries to speak like that, and in doing so, he doesn't realize that they're asking way more questions to clarify that word that he's saying. So he ends up speaking way more.
Way more. Yeah.
So-
I get it. Yeah.
So we were like, okay, what if
You're good.
let's try to break it down for you. Let's try to see if you can get this question without having to use more words.
I know.
So I think passion kind of fits because
Yeah.
the kind of person you are, the kind of you were so passionate about
Yeah.
this donut and this
Yeah.
art that you were creating, right?
Yeah.
So it makes a thing. So one final thing I have, what would you say to an aspiring baker out there, regardless of where they are in their journey?
So I think one of the things that is very important to me, and I would, if there's any takeaway from this, don't give up. I think I've spoken about this a lot
Right.
on this podcast, but I can't tell you how many setbacks you can have in the process of creating something new.
Right.
You don't we don't realize it because we're in the momentum of doing things so quickly,
Right.
But what are startups? What exactly is a startup? It is nothing but an idea generation from point A to point B, and your process of doing that, right?
Right.
And then of course eventually you monetize it and you get funding or blah blah blah. But don't give up in the process. And if there's an example that you want to take, use me as an example, because there were many instances in this process that I could have given up or I should have given up in that moment, right? But you just have to believe in yourself and keep going.
Right.
So I get this question a lot, Halak, where a lot of people ask me, what is the thing that you would, what is the one thing you can tell me or advise me if I want to start? Because there are so many people, especially, let's put it out there, right? Moms,
Right.
new moms, women who have given up their careers to raise kids. And I meet people, I love meeting people. I meet people every week, like I
Right.
said. And I can't tell you how many people come up to me and ask me, oh, how did you start this? And what is there any advice you could give me if I want to start something small?
Right.
I always say just start.
Yes.
Your start is that's the mission.
Yeah.
Like you are going, if you,
Take the first step.
it's the first step.
Right.
The hardest thing I feel that people don't do, unfortunately, and I think I'm a part of it as well, is we don't have the courage to take that first step.
Right.
We manifest so much in our own head and we keep thinking, oh, what if this doesn't work? What if this doesn't happen? I'm going to lose this money. I'm going to lose my time. Just start.
Right.
You will find your way.
Right.
So if there's one thing I can tell anybody who's an aspiring baker, an aspiring entrepreneur, just somebody who wants to do something out of the box and leave their 9 to 5 or even do it simultaneously, right?
Right.
Just start.
Correct.
You will find your path.
Correct. And so very well said. I mean, that goes perfectly with one of my favorite quotes that we use a lot on this show. It's called, just don't have one day. Make it day one.
Day one.
Just stop living in hallucination phase and try
Yeah.
to make it a reality.
For sure.
And one small step you never know, it will lead to you making into something that you would have never even imagined it could happen.
I'm telling you, you think I had manifested it. Yes. I believed in myself and my idea and my purpose and my mission when I started this. That is one thing nobody can take away from me, right?
Right.
That belief I had.
Right.
But do you think that I ever manifested running this and quitting my full-time job? You don't think about it at that point, right?
You don't think that
at
far.
that point, you're like, yeah, you manifested, yeah, I'm going to do this. I really want to create something unique.
Right.
But quitting your job, doing this from your apartment kitchen in the middle of a pandemic,
Right.
there are a lot of people who will tell you don't do it. And
Correct.
I had a lot of people telling me don't do it. Trust me.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, what are you doing?
Right.
And also coming in this is a service industry, right?
Right.
When you think about it, and I'm putting this out there because it can happen. It's happened with me, it can happen.
Right.
People tend to get very judgmental as well.
Right.
Especially our culture.
Correct.
Oh, you're in the service industry, you're serving, it's like, you're serving people to eat.
Right.
The way I look at it is, I'm doing what I'm meant to do. Like I'm feeding someone's soul with my food.
Right.
And when I see that, right, like when I see people eat it and I see that reaction they get, whether you're culturally from my culture, whether you're not, whether you're a local person, it is so beautiful. And I believe that is why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right.
And today, if someone asks, little Priyanka, when I was little,
Right.
what do you want to do? I would have probably been like, I want to do something on my own, but I don't know. Because
Right.
at that point, you don't know better, right? I'm
Right.
not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I always knew I wanted to be a dessert, create desserts and run my own business with desserts. No, I didn't know that.
Right.
This came to me very organically.
Right.
And I really value this. I value all of the relationships I've built through this.
Right.
But it can be a very lonely journey as well.
It has to be, because when you're on the top, I mean, not many people, you're trying to separate yourself from majority of the crowd. Believe it or not, that's what you're going for. And let's face it, that's the reality, right? You're trying to
Yeah.
be somewhere where nobody has kind of tapped there yet.
That
So
too,
you,
yeah.
but and I mean, I see this is your clarity. It's your
Yeah.
entrepreneur mind that you
Yeah.
had at that age
Yeah.
that you wanted to do something on your own.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me because and that's what we are trying to bring out is that
Yeah.
people you don't need to go for like movies to essentially get like great stories. There are stories all around you.
You just
be
have to
inspired.
observe. Absolutely.
Just listen, enjoy,
Yeah.
and like try to appreciate
Yeah.
what somebody else has done.
And learn from
and
them.
the process take one thing or two. So that's what we try to always.
Yeah.
I try to take every episode I record. I try to take something away from it,
For sure.
and to keep something good about doing something going. I keep recording.
For
so
sure, yeah.
they keep on bringing out new stuff.
No, I completely agree with you. And like, you said something that's I want to talk about it a little bit. Like you said something about like, I said like it can be a very lonely journey, right?
Right.
See, being on the top I don't believe that I'm on the top. I've never thought, like I said, I don't think I'm on the top. I really am in the process of being there.
Right.
I feel like when I'll get there, I'll
Lifelong
know.
process.
I'll know.
Right.
Yeah. But I have to do a lot of work. I
Right.
know that. This is just the beginning for me, right?
Right.
But what I meant to say, it's a lonely journey. Entrepreneurship is very lonely
Right.
because I'll give you an example. Like as an entrepreneur, I bake in a kitchen. I'm by myself, meaning I'm alone. Like in the sense that I don't go into an office.
Right.
I don't have peers.
Right.
I don't land up meeting people. I don't dress well. I'm wearing the same, leggings, the top. I have an apron on every day, and I'm baking. And I have my head covered with like the gauze and everything. I have gloves on my hands. It's not glamorous in any way.
Right.
So when we talk about that, we have to be okay with that loneliness. And I think in the beginning, I wasn't okay with it because I was used to corporate America. Like I was used to being an architect. So I used to go on site. I used to go to office every day, right? Pre-pandemic, I'm talking.
Right.
And then this happened. And then I realized, oh my gosh, like I'm wearing the similar clothes. This is not glamorous in any way. We're not meeting people. I meet people now at markets.
Right.
But I don't meet people on an everyday basis. So it can be very lonely.
Right.
And you really, as an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to be okay with that.
Right.
And through the process of discovering my journey, my brand, I learned how to love being okay with myself. And
Right.
I'm very happy with that. And today I feel one of the best things I did in my life is I've learned how to be happy with myself.
So amazing. Like and so rightly said.
Yeah.
I think that's a fun takeaway. Learn to be happy with yourself and your company. Enjoy your company too.
You have
And so one final thing from my end, and then it's all you have the cons. So if somebody wants to order nationwide, it is in the US.
Yeah.
What are our means to do that? You're gonna give me some links.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put them in the description.
Okay.
You're gonna share it.
Okay.
But how do we go about ordering it in menu?
So amazing question. What happened is we actually had my website, which crashed because of the number of people that like were on it.
Okay.
So the
Oh,
number
wow.
of people that were on it when I released the website, it crashed. So we're in the process of reconstructing it right now.
What a great problem to have.
It's a great problem to have. Thank God. I mean, I released it on my social media and I said, our website is live, and then it crashed again.
Oh,
and
man.
then, yeah, like the number of people who are on, I'm building it right now on Shopify. So it's a trial and testing thing.
Okay. Are you on Shopify?
I'm building it now.
Building now,
It's being built. Like as we
Okay.
speak, it's being currently rebuilt. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So all my orders actually, Instagram is my business.
Okay.
So
They DM you?
that's DM, email. That's the way I get orders in. That's the way I ship them. That's the way people pick up. I do local pickups. I ship them nationwide within the US.
Right.
We do wedding caterings. We do events. I've actually catered for LinkedIn. I've catered for Google.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for like their offices. Like
That's awesome.
in New York,
Yeah.
they had some events and we did the catering for the donuts. I do weddings practically every week.
Okay.
Catering. So there's, whether it's weddings, whether it's engagement parties, baby showers, bridal showers, whatever you call it.
And do you have like any particular like quantity that somebody has to order?
No. I don't. There's no caveat on what you order.
Okay.
Of course, there's a minimum. So like we do boxes of 6 and 12, and
Okay,
then that's
that's normal.
Yeah. So like let's say you're doing a wedding and you need let's say 20 dozens. That goes per dozen.
Okay.
And if you're like just a family of 4 people and you just want to get a dozen for yourself to enjoy, that's fine too.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
because everything, like I said, I don't have a store.
Right.
So I only work with pre-orders,
Right.
which is why everything you people receive is extremely fresh.
Right.
You'll never get something which is a day before. Because
Gotcha.
I don't
So
keep it.
You make it as you get
I make
the
it
order.
exactly, which is why actually I also fully book up. Like right now, I am already 85% booked for Diwali 2025.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's
Next month.
because, and that's because I work with pre-orders.
Okay.
Now, if you reach out to me in October, Diwali is on the 20th.
Right.
If you reach out to me on the 2nd of October and tell me I want 5 dozens for Diwali, I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I'm fully booked.
Right. Okay.
And that's what happens. I can tell you last year, over 400 DMs for Diwali and we were fully booked.
Right.
And I've tried to scale. I've tried to hire people during the festive season. But again, like these are very premium. They're very difficult to make.
Right.
I don't cut back on the good stuff. I
Right.
don't want to just give you something for the sake of it. And money is irrelevant at that point.
Right. Exactly.
It's the experience.
Correct.
So when I cap it out, I'm done.
Okay. So, but I do want to highlight that is you go through all the festivals, like be it Indian, American.
Everything.
You have different flavors dedicated to that.
Not necessarily, but like I'll give you an example. So Thanksgiving,
Right.
right? It's a very American cultural thing. I have a lot of orders for Thanksgiving.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's not only the Indian
The cranberry or anything like that,
or
but
South.
you'll
Yeah.
mix it up.
Because see, everything is fusion.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now
got
I
it.
have a dark chocolate chicky praline flavor. It's
Okay.
a dark chocolate which I actually make in-house. It's not a store-bought.
Okay.
And the chicky praline is desi.
Right.
That marriage of the two, people love it.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. So, yeah, but okay. How did you like? How did it go?
This was amazing. No, thank
You
you for
enjoyed?
having me. It was brilliant. I think we spoke such good content.
Right.
I hope that there's some key takeaway, for
There
people
are.
who are
Yeah, there are.
listening to this, because I think it's more about the journey, right?
Right.
And I'm glad we were able to highlight that.
Right.
And I had so much fun.
No,
This
I'm glad. I'm glad.
yeah, I've done this before, but this was so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. And it
I'm
feels
glad.
natural. It feels amazing. And you've been so good. You're so good.
I got a validation again. See,
Yeah,
this is
there
what-
you
this is
go.
what I'm
It
talking
boosts you, right?
See, now if you would have said, "Oh, it's okay," I would have been okay, fine. I need to.
I'm not
roll
going
up
to
my
do this
sleeves
anymore.
again, roll up my sleeves again, and try and go for it again. But okay, so thank you so much, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. And Priyanka, I mean, I had a great ball trying to uncover her story, her passion behind Knead Some Love New York. We are going to obviously post a lot of content on it, but go and show some love on Instagram handle. And she said she now ships nationwide, so that problem is solved for the folks who did not have that liberty before. So I hope you guys like it. Please like, share, subscribe, and like I said, stay awesome, believe in yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. This is your host Halak signing off.